Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Good morning. Good morning, fam. SpaceX started their live stream, and I'm a little late to the stream, but I'm here. Good morning. Hey, everyone. It's really, it's kind of early for me, so excuse me. SpaceX put up their stream just now. They're 9 minutes out from the launch. Weather's looking depressing. They're going to do a boost back burn and land in back to the launch site or the launch complex, LZ1 in Cape Canaveral, Florida. But we're here. We're here to hang out. Thanks for all those emojis. SFS Rocket Lab. I don't know. That name is really hard to say. SFS Rocket Lab. SpaceX guys here. And yeah. Hopefully you guys can all hear me. I have to set up my stream. Good morning. You can tell I just woke up. But ho ho ho, it's Santa Claus time. All right. Let's just listen in.
Presumes that we understand
and we'll talk after the launch, but I wanted to watch this with you guys.
And can safely proceed with the recycle and launch. If we can't launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow.
Weather's looking terrible, so let's see what happens here.
Falcon 9 has also been loading propellants since the T-minus 35-minute mark, when we started loading both fuel and oxidizer into each of the stages. Our fuel
Gotta turn
is
on
a
my
refined
Himalayan
form
salt
of
lamp,
kerosene known
get
as
it all
rocket
prepared.
propellant 1. We also refer to it as RP1. Fuel is fully loaded on the second stage and will finish loading on the first stage around the T-minus 6-minute mark.
This is going to be an exciting launch,
As
for
for
sure.
oxidizer, we
SpaceX
use
is
super
really
chilled liquid oxygen. We also refer to it as LOX. Typically,
SpaceX is really hitting records this year for launching, and they are trying to squeeze in as many as they can for the end of 2020, making 2021 a very promising year for aerospace and rocket launches and everything. It's just going to be a really exciting year for sure. We could potentially see SLS. We could potentially see, New Glenn advancements. Not a New Glenn. We could see Vulcan next year, and then Starship development is going to be picking up. So this is exciting.
We use the helium stored in pressure vessels and expand it using heat from the Merlin engine gas generator's exhaust. In about 20 seconds, we'll have engine chilling beginning. This is where we allow a small amount of super chilled liquid oxygen to flow past the turbopump inlets, cooling them down to avoid thermal shocks when we light the Merlin engines at the T-minus 2-second mark. The spacecraft team also transitioned
really cool mission patch. Thanks again, SpaceX Kid, for getting the monkey on my stream. Starship will fly to orbit in 2021. Mark my words. I agree with you, man. I think Starship Super Heavy. I think we could at least see a Starship Super Heavy stacked up in 2021. Not sure if it'll get to orbit, but gotta be optimistic. We saw SN8 fly a year after, a year and a couple months more than Starhopper flew. So anything's possible apparently, especially at the speed and rate SpaceX is going here.
As I mentioned earlier, the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO, is a joint Department of Defense community organization responsible for developing, launching, and operating America's signals, imagery, and communication satellites. Here's a closer look at the NRO and its capabilities.
RP1 load is complete and closing out.
Okay, so that's really cool. NROL is National Reconnaissance Office, and this is kind of a top secret mission, so we don't know much about the payload right now. We don't know the mass. We don't know what type of satellite this is, and we don't really know exactly what orbit this is. I know I can go over a couple things here while we're waiting. So this is obviously Falcon 9 version 1.2 Block 5. This is a reused booster. This is actually the first reused booster that NROL has accepted to use for a payload deployment or a flight. Past flights on this core B1059. It flew CRS-19, a resupply of CRS-20. It flew Starlink 8, and it flew the recent SAOCOM 1B launch. I don't even know what dates those were, but it's had 4 flights, and this booster will not break a record. The record is now 7 flights per booster, and but 4 flights is pretty incredible, you know, for any booster of any type. So this is gonna be cool. This is launching from LC-39A in Kennedy Space Center, the same place where Apollo lifted off, same place Saturn V lifted off, and the same place that we saw Bob and Doug, Demo 1, Crew Dragon in-flight abort, as well as the Crew 1 launch just later this year. Landing will be not on a drone ship, but on LZ-1, which is the landing zone on land just off the coast of Florida and Cape Canaveral. Same place that the Falcon Heavy boosters land, if you've seen that before. Mission success criteria is successful separation and deployment of the NROL-108 payload. This was delayed 45 minutes due to weather, and we'll see where they get on the countdown. We're 4 minutes in. Things are looking good. This is the 26th SpaceX launch of this year, 5th flight of this booster, first national security payload on a reused booster, like I said, and the 103rd Falcon 9 launch. Morning, Connor. Morning, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I am so tired. I don't know why, but I've been watching the kid nonstop and working, so I never get a break. And of course, SpaceX wants to launch in the morning, which is just crazy, but it is what it is. See, I got a yawn. I haven't even gotten my coffee. I might go take a break and go pour coffee really quick since we're got 3 minutes left, because I can't watch a SpaceX launch without coffee. So yeah, how's everyone doing here? Delay heavy on the SpaceX on a SpaceX stream. Let's see here. Are you saying there's a delay on the stream compared to my voice? Because that I can fix. Let me see. I don't know. Whatever. So cool. So everything's looking healthy. Payload's healthy. First and second stage are healthy. SpaceX mentioned they're going to be cutting off the stream at second stage start, where they detach the first stage from the second stage, but we will be tracking the first stage for its landing burn.
Into the final stages of the countdown, the vehicle remains in good health. About 2 minutes ago, the transporter erector began to retract away from Falcon 9, providing clearance for liftoff.
No, we're good.
And
okay.
In just a few seconds,
Delta heavy
liquid
on
oxygen loading should
I
finish
see what you
loading
saw.
on
Yeah,
second
said.
stage, and that'll wrap
Delay
up the
heavy.
loading. At the T-minus 1 minute mark, Falcon 9 will be in startup. This means that the rocket's autonomous internal
I saw that they
flight
showed
computers
Rocket Lab,
are
ULA,
now
all
controlling
that
the
stuff.
launch countdown. The range continues to be green for launch, and the weather still remains cloudy, but again, we are still 70% favorable for an on-time liftoff today. As a reminder, if we don't launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern.
I wanted to show you guys something that I thought was really weird.
And it does look like we have a hold to the launch countdown.
Wait, really? Yep.
Let's check in. We're going to check in with the team to see if we can get some more information on that. Give us
Hold,
a second.
hold, my boys. It's a hold. I need my soundboard up. Soundboard time, guys. We're at a hold, so let's have fun. So NROL, if I can find it here, they posted a picture of the, let's see here. So, as you can see here, the crew access arm sticks out just a little bit past the building. And I'm starting to believe there's some CGI here, or something going on really weird, because NROL posted a picture of its payload encapsulated in the fairings, but the rocket was horizontal at that time. So you can see there's the crew access arm. It's not that long, right? It's not an extremely long arm, but it's it swings out to the Crew Dragon. So this is it fully retracted, and then it swings out to the Crew Dragon, which isn't that far away. But I'm like, I don't know what I'm trying to get to. Let me see if I can find it. Where's that picture? Jesus Christ, where? NRO, there you are. They recently posted this picture. And does that not look wrong? Look at this. See that crew access arm? That looks way longer than, I don't know. Maybe it's just the angle, but that, I don't know. I was like looking at it last night like, what the heck? That crew access arm is not that long. It might just be the you guys are all mods. All the mods are on the chat right now. Hell yeah. Thanks for checking it out.
Hey, just checking in here. We are waiting for the teams to debrief, and we will report back when we get more information. Again, we had a hold to the countdown at the T-minus 1 minute and 53-second mark.
I needed coffee anyway.
We're just waiting for the team to debrief.
What are you doing, step bro?
Hold.
Bruh. Baba Booey.
Do you guys like my Santa hat today? I thought I'd not show my bed head and just put on a beanie, and I couldn't find my beanie, so I put on a Santa Claus hat. I take my kid to daycare wearing this hat all the whole month of December, just as like a fun little thing to do.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
That was good.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
They would never understand. They would never understand the trauma we go through with these holds.
Suck.
That must be loud. Is that loud? These sound bites are real loud for sure.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time. We'll get him next time. I don't even know. Hey, funny. I wanted to thank everyone for checking out Space Meme Review. Almost 400 views, which is actually a record for Space Meme Review. So I know it's doing well. I know the idea of Space Meme Review is actually something that I can manifest and make it something maybe big, because it got really good feedback. And the second to last video, third to last video I did, because I did a live stream after that. But the SpaceX fanboy reacting video to the Starship SN8 flight got 6,000 views. Thank you. You guys rock for checking that out.
SpaceX again. We have reset
this
the
channel
clock
is
to
so
T-minus
fun.
45 minutes. This doesn't necessarily mean that we will be recycling today, but we do have a launch window all the way until 12 p.m. Eastern.
Jeez.
At this moment, we are still trying to understand exactly
Cape Canaveral
what
roads
happened,
closed
and
until
so we're waiting for the team to
12
debrief
a.m.
and gather more information. For now, we'll be sitting tight, and we'll try to update you as we get the information.
Minecraft hurt. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you guys think this is definitely a scrub for the day, or because this is weather related? This is definitely weather related.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Here we go again. Such a cool. They have the monkey, the ape, thinking his chest. Peace through strength, on the fairing section there. I think it'd be really cool if they went out and caught the fairings and covered that. I think it'd be really cool if SpaceX gave us a live footage of them catching a fairing, because they usually flip to that camera after the fairing's caught. But they should just track it. You know what I mean? How cool would it be if they tracked a fairing coming down and we could see where it's kind of like going and then where the net is? I don't know. Yeah, weather for tomorrow probably is looking much better. I can actually pull up the weather here. Let's see here. Launch execution forecast. Let's see. All right, so let's read about this. 1 second here. We'll listen in here. But I wanted to pull this up. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can. A strong cold front is currently moving through Florida Panhandle and will rush through the central Florida overnight. 30% is the primary concern for liftoff winds. Thick cloud layer rule. Yep, so this is just depressing. Let's see here. He said 70% favorable for launch. Huh. Oh, it's 70 and then 30% unfavorable. So, yeah, I mean, things could change. Temperature in Florida is 60 degrees. That is actually pretty unreal. That's really cold for Florida. I've been in like 15-degree weather, so can't complain here, right? Wow. Liftoff winds about 17 to 22 miles an hour. No solar activity. Booster recovery weather low. That's cool that they put booster recovery weather in there. Upper level wind shear is moderate. So this is kind of the report for the Florida weather today, and we'll see where they were at. Rocket's fully fueled. They probably have to recycle for an engine chill, but if they count down for 45 minutes, then we have to hang out for a while, which is totally fine. What's going on with the Bitcoin? I know I have seen it actually. It's pretty unreal. Wow, dude, it's crazy. Yeah, it is rising like a storm. Oh man, that's crazy. It's like Bitcoin was affected more positively by the coronavirus outbreak. Look at that, dude. That's crazy. In 5 days. Wow, I wonder why. That is unreal. Well, I have 0 Bitcoin, and I can't pay in Bitcoin, but it's cool that like PayPal and other payment providers are allowing Bitcoin as like a transaction type. I don't know. That's a lot of money for 1 Bitcoin. But luckily you can go fractional here. So if I wanted to put in like say $100, you'd have 0.0043 of a Bitcoin, which is crazy. Bitcoin to 100K. What by what year? 5 years from now or 1 year? That's crazy, man. That is unreal. All right, as we wait, I'm gonna throw this back on and go get my coffee because I know it's ready. Is that cool? I need coffee really bad. You can tell in my voice I'm just like real sluggish right now, but it's all good. Next meme review, like I said, for those of you who joined Discord and for those of you who are just watching, coming in, joining for the first time, next meme review will be a Starlink meme review. We're wrapping up all the Starlink memes that we can find on the internet, scraping as much as we can, and we'll see where we go from there. I'm going to keep the ambient audio up as well as the song, and I'll be back in like 2 seconds, okay, guys?
looking like we are going to try to recycle today. Now keep in mind the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch potential issues prior to flight. Overall, the vehicle and payload appears to be in good health. The new T0 is still to be determined, but we do have a launch window that ends at 12 p.m. Eastern Time.
McRocklin for the win, dude. This guitar is too good. I wish I could play like McRocklin does. Alright. Let's turn this music down. Wow. God, that music is so good. If you guys like the music, please check out McRocklin and Hutch. We can also play as Test Shot Starfish on this channel. Let me get my bean water. Good bean water. SpaceX guy's in the video chat. Let's get SpaceX guy on the chat right now and hang out and ask some questions. Oh, I can mute you. All right, SpaceX guy, you are now live on the chat. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to share my screen as well so you can see what I'm looking at here in real time.
Hey, yeah, good morning.
Good morning. I really wish God and SpaceX would tell me that they were going to Scrubs so I could have slept in.
The team is still trying to determine if we are
your
recycle
audio a
today
little bit.
and attempt another. Again, keep in mind that the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch these
What's going on?
issues prior to flight.
Might be a little low.
Again, the vehicle and payload appear to be in good health.
Yeah, you said your audio was a little low, but
T0 is not
it fixed itself.
Oh, cool. Okay. Let's see if we can get an update from SpaceX here. What'd they say?
Yeah. Nothing. I don't know.
I totally missed it. I'm sorry. Of course. 1 second. 1 sec.
Eastern time. Be in good health to flight to.
Sorry. 1 second.
The team is still trying to determine if we are going to recycle today.
Oh, we have no idea.
Another launch attempt. Again, keep in mind that the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch these types of issues prior to flight. Overall, again, the vehicle and payload appear to be in good health. T0 is not yet determined, but again, we do have a launch window that ends at 12 p.m. Eastern.
I don't know if it's just me or some people. I always go nuts when John Innsbrucker comes on the screen. Like, I'm like, yeah!
Yeah.
Innsbrucker!
I know. I think it would have been cool to see him for the when SN8 flew. Like there was no host, and it would have been so cool if John Innsbrucker was like,
That would have
you
been
know,
awesome.
the Raptors are healthy, and like all of his he's the king for sure. And we haven't seen him in quite some time. Maybe the last was like maybe the crew flights and stuff like that. But yeah, he's the one.
Yeah, but he's like 10 times better than that ULA guy, Dylan Schaefer or whatever his name is. Wait, no, that's yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but he's like now launching the NROL-108 mission for the
Yeah.
National
Yeah. We're reaching maximum dynamic pressure. Miko or Max Q. Engines throttling down. he's just like he's almost like better than any football what do you call those guys? You know, the football commentators.
More professional at being quiet than doing. Yeah, there's just a lot of silence, and he's just out of nowhere. It's just today the Delta IV Heavy will be launching the NROL-108 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office.
Yeah, yeah. I've been talking to this guy on Twitter. His name is his Twitter handle is Falcon9Block5. Let's listen in. Sorry.
They hold at T-minus 1 minute and 53 seconds. We reset the countdown to T-minus 45 minutes. At this point, the vehicle and payload both appear to be in good health. We are waiting on a decision on whether or not we will be making another recycle attempt and launch today.
Okay, so no real news. This guy, Falcon9Block5, his name's Kyle Chun, and he's on Twitter. He's always like, he does all of his work on Microsoft Paint. Like, he makes all of his like graphics and stuff on Paint, and he's actually a YouTuber as well. And he was gonna include me on one of his videos, titled "How Not to Do a SpaceX Live Stream," and it was essentially just gonna be clips from the Sentinel-6 launch. You know, where they launched from Florida or from California a couple months back, and it was like NASA took over that stream. You remember that? And like
God, that was the worst stream in the world.
Yeah, it was totally cringy, right? The guy with the glasses, he's really cool. Go ahead.
When SpaceX launches become way too often that people start complaining about the live stream.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know you got something going on, right? Yeah, there was like a clip, because I live streamed that Sentinel-6 launch, and there was a clip where like they were having mic issues, and this girl was part of the Sentinel-6 team, and she was going to interview some of the lead engineers, and she was like, I can't understand, I can't hear you, and it was just so cringy that happened. It's like, dude, the SpaceX needs to take over their own live streams. And yeah, Kyle Chun was going to work on that video, but I talked to him yesterday. He's pretty funny.
It takes some skill to make graphics on Paint.
Yeah, have you seen this guy's? I'll pull it up on Twitter. It's literally he owns the Falcon9Block5 Twitter channel. Yeah, Falcon9Block5, Kyle Chun.
Yeah.
And look at this. He does all this on Paint.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Hopefully today, or maybe tomorrow, I'm going to talk to a guy from ULA. He's a mission manager, so he's in charge of like the payload, all that stuff that goes on the rocket. So I'm gonna ask him like, do you actually get to see the payload for NROL missions and all that stuff? And I hope I could get some good info and share it with you guys.
Yeah, that'd be nice, because those are definitely like top secret, right? For the most part. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of like weird payloads that are in orbit right now that like a lot of humans are not aware of. Like, you know, it could go as far as like super powerful weapons or super powerful lasers or something like that that have been launched by any country.
Or the Saturn V third stage.
Or the Saturn V third stage. Yeah. Wait, is that in orbit?
That is in orbit.
Oh, that's funny. That's so crazy. I had no idea. Yeah, I mean,
there's really high halo orbit.
Yeah, right. Because that was a moon. That was a moon mission, so they had to lob it up there. That's crazy. I think it'd be really cool to see Starship go up. If they made a version of Starship that was meant to clean up space debris, it'd be really cool for a Starship to just like open up its gator mouth and like take Hubble and land it back down on Earth, like or you know, just like Saturn V stage and stuff like that. Like, I don't even know if Saturn V stage would fit in there, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be so cool if it was able to pick up historical flight articles and like bring it back down to Earth.
Because all they have to do is just get the right payload adapter, or the separating system that was used on the Saturn V or whatever satellite it is, and then I don't know if they can dock them, but
yeah,
whatever works.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've always asked the question of like, why can't Bigelow Aerospace come back? Because like, this is a perfect time for Bigelow to like, if Starship gets to orbit next year or in 2022 at least, I don't know. I just think it'd be a really good opportunity to build Space Station #2 with like all Bigelow components, and and some modules.
For sure.
But I don't know. It's just, I think it's a bummer that Bigelow is kind of they went bankrupt. I think. I'm actually not sure where they're at right now, if they have any promising projects.
Well, they do have a module on the space station. It's the inflated module on the what's space station terminology for back end? Because I know forward, zenith, Gator.
Yeah.
What's back?
Not sure. Aft?
No, aft is down.
Aft is down. Oh yeah, so we're talking like forward. I don't
Oh
know.
no, it's like starboard or no, that's not it.
Well, at least like they have some pretty exciting like graphics here, and like there's a Crew Dragon attached to some modules. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about, like a space station #2, where it's like a small little hotel in space where like you could do commercial flights with Crew Dragon, go up and like live in these modules for a little bit, and then maybe a week, like I don't know, and then expand this. The space station's like, I wouldn't say fully built, but it's really taking up a lot of cubic space right now.
You could build off of the space station, build what you need to build, and then undock from the space station.
Yeah, exactly. And that's probably what the plan would be, huh? If they were to ever do like a second station or a second like hotel, a space hotel, whatever. It's pretty cool though. I really like the Bigelow idea of just like making modules expand in space. So 11.5 meters, 410 feet squared of volume.
They should make a with Skylab how they had the big old gymnasium thing. They need to add one of those to the space station. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it's just gonna be kind of like baffling to see Starship dock to the station. Like,
yeah, because it has more space inside of Starship than the station actually has.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of whack.
You should check on the SpaceX stream, see how they're doing.
Yeah, let's see. Well, they're still live. So
that's a good sign.
Yeah. Usually, like, I think with the and by the way, sorry for missing the last launch, the Sirius XM. I didn't even have time to rewatch it because what happened was I was driving back from the mountains. Obviously, I couldn't make it because I was driving back, and my transmission, the transmission in my car went out, but it wasn't the transmission. It was the wiring that helps my gear shift. So it was called a solenoid. And what happened was a bunch of rats got under my engine bay and started chewing up those wires while I was in the mountains. So I was driving back and my car was really sluggish and stuff. So I didn't even have time that whole day to like do anything SpaceX. So it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, but I did coverage and then I rewatched my coverage and I'm like, this is very cringe. I'm going to delete this.
Yeah, I've been there too. I've definitely streamed a couple times, like earlier on.
It's just the fact of listening to your own voice makes you feel.
It's tough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've like done streams where like literally I had like I've streamed for like an hour and a half and I only had one viewer, and I was just like, I'm taking this down, because I was literally just talking to myself.
If you're just joining us, this is the NROL-108 mission.
That's how it feels sometimes.
Yeah.
We did have
you get through
hold to the countdown at the T-minus 1 minute and 53-second mark. At this moment, the team is trying to figure out if we can recycle and make another launch attempt in today's window. The window today ends around 12 p.m. at 12 p.m. Eastern time. If
so
we
that's in
can't
3 hours.
Recycle today, we do have a backup launch opportunity tomorrow. At this point, the vehicle and the payload are in good health, and I'll be giving you periodic updates. We should have more information in about 20 minutes, so I'll keep you guys updated. So stay tuned.
Okay. Wow, they're just gonna sit it down there for a while. I love it. And I haven't seen any signs of like depressurizing or detanking.
I didn't see the downward vent.
You saw that downward vent?
No, I said I did not see the downward vent.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
downward vent is-
And that's the one we talked about on the latest scrub. Was like, once you see that thing spurting out liquid oxygen, then you know it's gonna be depressurized for the day.
For sure.
So this guy you know from ULA, because I know ULA is down in Greenwood Village, which is like kind of in the middle of where we live.
Yeah, and I don't know if you drive on. Which one goes to Denver? I-25 or I-70?
Both.
Well, if you drive on one of them, you'll pass a ULA office building. I'm not sure if you've seen that before.
Yeah, it's on I-25. I used to work like next door to ULA, and it was a job that I got. Yeah, that's the headquarters actually, which is really cool that they're in Denver. They're in DTC essentially, the Denver Tech Center, and I used to work right next to ULA at a job that I got, and I got that job unfortunately after I got denied from ULA. So like I applied to be like just like a technical analyst at ULA, and I didn't even get called, and it was kind of a bummer because I thought that'd be a cool job. Like it's the closest like aerospace job in Colorado.
Yeah, I could see the tech center from my house.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you can see like those relatively tall buildings. They're not that tall, but you can kind of see like the bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but my house is like really tall. It's one of those houses that's like, you know what I'm talking about, like the row houses.
Yeah, like three-story, like a kind of a three-story stacker.
Yeah, but it has a roof deck on top. So yeah, if I went up there, I could see Denver, the mountains, and the tech center. I could see everything. And sometimes the ISS.
I know the ISS from Colorado is a good site.
From SpaceX.
Let's see what he
you
says
guys
here.
Another update. We are still trying to deliberate if we are going to make a recycle and launch attempt in today's launch window, which ends at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, if we can't launch today, we do have another opportunity tomorrow, which is another good chance to launch the NROL-108 satellite.
One more good
We'll
chance.
continue to update you as we get more information, so stay tuned, and we'll update you as soon as we can.
This guy's doing a good job, honestly. He's got a pretty good stream. Or he's doing a good job hosting. Yeah, my house, what's cool about my house is that I'm on like a hill in like kind of South Denver, and I can only see the mountains. So like, I can't see any buildings or any like I have like a bunch of trees in front of me, so all I can see is like the mountain line and like no civilization, so it makes me feel kind of remote.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Colorado Springs is a really good area for Space Force to build their headquarters, since they have the Air Force facility there and the school, and Lockheed Martin has a huge. I mean, Lockheed Martin's presence is mainly
they have a big factory by Chatfield.
Yeah. I interviewed there one time. Yeah, it's called the Deer Creek location, and I interviewed there for a procurement job. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but it was really like just going inside that building and meeting some of the people and talking to them was so fun. It was such a beautiful building. Lockheed Martin has like 4 or 5 locations, like a really big one in Littleton, but their headquarters are in like Bethesda, Maryland. But obviously they have like, for the Falcon Heavy Arabsat 6A, they built that in Denver.
Yeah.
They built that payload in Denver.
That's
so,
cool.
So yeah, like I applied to Lockheed a bunch before getting into Google Cloud and just working from home and doing YouTube.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of friends that work for Lockheed as well.
I remember going over to Chatfield or over by that Lockheed factory, and so you'll see people outside like smoking or whatever, and somebody set up this box that says that they put their cigarette buds in and it says ULA or SpaceX, and so they have to put their cigarette butts in which one they think should win
What?
the vote.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to go to that ashtray. We'll take a picture of it. Are you talking about?
As you can see, we have held the countdown.
Let's see here.
We held it at
That's
the
so funny.
T-minus 1 minute and 53 second mark, and reset it to the T-minus 45 minute mark. The vehicle and payload are in good health. The team's right now trying to understand what exactly caused the hold,
they're
and
not
determine if
they're
we
not
can
scrubbing,
recycle
man.
and
They're
attempt to
really
launch again,
they're trying to
later
get this
today.
thing up.
If we are unable to launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow at the same time. We should
I think
have
that
a
cigarette
better
butt thing
update
would be cool
on
for
whether or not
Space
we will
Geek
be able to
Review
launch
7.
in about 15
Yeah,
20 minutes.
if I can find a picture
Until
of it,
then, I'll be
or I'll
periodically
just go.
updating
I'll
you,
just go to it.
about the vehicle and
Yeah.
how we're doing.
I'm trying to get satellite view up, but essentially, like, this is the Deer Creek location. I guess they have a Waterton. What is this? I don't even know what this is. This is really random.
Oh, on the other side of that hill is the big rock structure, and then the lake.
And here's Lockheed Martin in Littleton.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get this in satellite. I don't know why it's not working right now. 1 second. Elizabeth. So everybody who is not in Colorado, this is Colorado, the new California, I call it, because
Don't
it's,
move here. Yeah.
seriously, don't move to Colorado. Don't make it worse than it could be, because it's a beautiful place. But God, we have so many people moving.
Sedan.
Yeah, we have so many people moving
Don't
here.
bring your sedan because you'll probably get stuck on snow.
Yeah, exactly. I have to. I see people in like Yukons that have like Texas license plates and stuff, and I just like fly past them in my coupe, like, cause I drive like a pretty small car, but I drive my car like it's a truck, you know, cause I've been driving in the snow for so long, I know how to do it, and so people are just so like, it's annoying, right? It's like you should figure it out. So yeah, this is where I interviewed. So what you have to do is like, you take 70 to you go past like this mountain line here where the mountains start to rise, and you enter into like this kind of remote area where there's some houses and stuff. But this is the let's see if I can get 3D. Oh yeah, this is what I want to see. So I entered in this building and I interviewed, and it was like, so I actually had to go through security to get in as well. But they don't actually build anything here. I think this is just like an office where they do a lot of logistics and stuff. But they have like this spiral, like you can drive up this spiral up to the parking lot on top of the building. And they have like this giant rock right here that you can see. This kind of blue area or this green area is actually a pond. It's like kind of like a man-made pond.
It looks like grass.
Yeah, it looks like grass, but it's like this really pretty pond where they have like ducks and stuff. And dude, it was just like, I would have loved working here. Granted, it was like 45 minutes away from where I lived, but you know, I could have made a career out of it. Probably just moved near like Golden
if
or
you're just joining us for
Morrison.
the NROL-108 webcast,
But it's just a cool
The
location.
team is still trying to determine if we're going to be able to recycle and attempt to launch again. The vehicle and payload are
Same
in good
thing, no
health, so you don't
recycle
have
yet.
to worry there.
Yeah.
The new T0 is still trying to be determined, but we do have a launch window that ends at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Again, if we can't launch today, we do have another opportunity tomorrow around the same time. We'll periodically update you as information becomes available. Hang tight, and the vehicle is definitely in good health, and payload is also in good health.
Yeah. So they have a Lockheed Martin location in many areas in DTC. So you're saying near Chatfield, that's where that ashtray is?
I think that's where it is.
All right.
I don't remember, but
All right. I'm gonna go on a trip this weekend. I'm gonna go find it.
yeah. I'll try and say the address of the place.
Yeah. I think it's where I just where I was. And if there's security where I can't get in, then that's just what it is. But I'd really like to get a picture of that. This is the Orion facility right here.
So
Where
they build? No, they don't. They don't build Orions there.
no, they don't build Orions, but I'm not sure. Dude, I don't even know where exactly they build payloads. I think it's in Denver, but Denver is so broad. Like this is technically Denver, but it's really Lone Tree, you know. And then the headquarters is here, Lockheed Martin in Littleton. So, I mean, yeah, you just never know.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, Lockheed is always hiring, always bringing in more people, and you know, I should consider applying again because it's honestly like a really cool company to work for. But for most of the positions, you have to have a security clearance. So
if you're stationed in Minnesota, if COVID ends, you're kind of bound to quit if you want to stay in Colorado.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that works right now for me, but I work. My plan is just to work from home, like for the rest of my life, even past COVID, and that's kind of like how my contract is right now, is just to continue working remotely, regardless of COVID.
Nice.
But it's kind of crazy that everyone but like fast food workers and nurses are working, like, you know, on site, and mailmen, and I guess a lot of jobs are still like you have to travel to your position, but a lot of business jobs and tech jobs are just operating from home, and I kind of like it that way because it's good for the environment. There's less people driving around.
As you can see, we have held the countdown for the NROL-108 mission. The team is right now trying to determine if we can recycle and relaunch today. We haven't determined a new T0 yet, but both the vehicle and payload are healthy. If we can't launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow. We should have more information in the next 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll try to update you as soon as we can.
Still holding it.
Mm-hmm. There's some hawks flying around. I saw a lot of birds in the last couple minutes. Those poor birds. That literally the shot
outside right now, it's just like Cape Canaveral. Outside here is just like Cape Canaveral. It's cloudy and disgusting.
Yeah, it's kind of gross today. I think if a bird was within like 100 or 500 feet of the rocket as it was taking off, it would literally probably like, not the heat would kill the bird first, but I think that like the sound would literally like destroy the bird.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly. If they were even within like 1,000 feet.
I wonder.
It's freaking loud.
I don't think this has happened before, but what if a bird, or you're flying a rocket and you hit a bird? Does like the fairing get smashed and you lose your payload and the FTS system goes, or does nothing happen?
I'd imagine that where the height that birds fly today, the rocket would be going relatively slow enough for the bird to just bounce off the payload or the fairing before injuring it, because like the fairing section's pretty strong, right? It's like all composite material. It's really strong, and like you've seen how fairings break. When they try to recover fairings, they kind of like break open because of impact rather than like denting. Oh, there's that bottom vent. And cut.
See what they say.
That does not. Well, that could be a D. Nope, that's not a D tank. This thing's loaded, man. But I think birds.
That's probably just a recycle thing.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Because with recycle with SN8, they detank for about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
They have the vent going on for 2 seconds.
Yeah. And then a D tank is like a 2 minute or like a 1.5 minute vent, right? Because it's a lot of fuel in there. I think if so with the bird thing, I don't know. I feel like a bird, if a rocket hit a bird, it would probably just bounce off and be okay. It might kill the bird. I mean, it probably would kill the bird, but it wouldn't hurt the rocket.
It would probably kill the bird.
Yeah, like my dad is a my dad's an aircraft mechanic, and he's seen birds destroy engines by like takeoff. Like they had a hawk. Yeah, they had a hawk fly into an engine on a 777 one time, and it couldn't take off. I mean, it took off because airplanes can take off with one engine, but they had to emergency land it and then, get people off the airplane, because, dude, like the turbine and like everything in that engine had to be completely taken apart and redone, just from one bird, you know. A lot of fragile moving parts.
Yep.
Whereas a rocket engine does not suck in air and produce thrust. It literally sucks in fuel and produces thrust in one direction down. There's never been a rocket design that works like airliners do. You know what I mean? With like using air and wind speed to, you know, produce thrust and condense air into a combustion chamber to produce higher thrust in the back. It's different for rockets, which is crazy. We're yet to see an aerospike too.
I was thinking, could you get to orbit if you flew a small rocket on a weather balloon, keep flying it up until it reaches balloon's apogee, then the rocket releases from the balloon, and then turns on its motor and gets into orbit?
It would have to be a rocket smaller than Astra's rocket or Rocket Lab's rocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would have to be a really, really small rocket with enough delta V to get to orbit from as high as a weather balloon goes, I would say. Because you lose air at like, I would say like 30 miles up, something like that. And to get to the Kármán line, it's like 69, 70 miles.
Nice.
So I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. That's interesting. That'd be an interesting take. Did you see that Astra had their successful? Well,
they almost got the orbit.
Almost, right? But really cool shots.
Yep. More successful than the one before.
Yeah. Yeah, the one before was barely got it barely got up there. It had to abort.
It exploded.
Yeah. I love how like the light glare it makes it look like 2 Falcon Heavy boosters are coming down. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really pretty seeing the heat waves and the snowy mountains, since they're in Alaska. What did they release here? Oh, they released some good footage. Wow. Yeah, so they're using relatively small tanks on the second stage, and they don't encapsulate the tanks inside of like a what am I trying to say? Like a fuselage. It's just like completely exposed tanks that are obviously shielded for radiation and heat. But those are just like, they're liquid oxygen and propellant tanks and one small vacuum engine. Their engines are pretty impressive. I forgot what they were called. But yeah, here's the design. It's pretty cool.
Their engines are 3D printed.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Like what electrons?
What am I looking at here? Yeah, just like Electron. I think 3D print is the way to go. And John Krause was out there taking really good photos. They have such a small launch facility. It looks like Boca Chica a year and a half ago. You know.
You don't need much.
Yeah, they actually, the rocket can literally
be. Well, if you build the rocket somewhere else, you don't need much.
Yeah, you can deliver the rocket via semi-truck, like that's how small it is. Like you can deliver it fully built in a semi-truck, and it can go to orbit, which is just unreal. I think it'd be really cool if they did like a semi-truck launch, like a semi-truck launch facility. You know what I mean? Like a semi-truck that can deploy out, like, you know, fueling tanks and the rocket and also comm and stuff, and the strong back. And you can, it's like kind of like a transformer. That would be something unreal. And Astra has the ability here, not the ability, but they have an opportunity to try recovery as well, with a parachute. Because Rocket Lab has, you know, they've demonstrated that you can pass what they call the wall, if you go engine first down back into the atmosphere. Depending on what material you use, but it's really cool. And I missed the last Rocket Lab launch as well.
I don't know if they recovered that booster because I didn't watch it either.
I missed it because it was like at 2 in the morning for me. Yeah, I don't think maybe they just did another splashdown, you know. But the footage that Rocket Lab had with that last launch was crazy. Like the second stage. What am I trying to say? The second stage being pushed out of the first stage and lighting its vac engine was a really cool video. What do you call that?
All right. Well, what?
Second, I forgot. Oh, payload separation. I'm sorry. Second stage separation. Yep.
All right. Well, while we're in the hold, let's take some questions from the chat. Why not?
Yeah. My chat hasn't... Let me see here. What's going on?
SFS Rocket Lab is typically the person to just type a lot, and I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm the most recent.
Yeah, you're the most recent chat. Lots of Fs.
Should actually go back to the SpaceX stream, see how it's going. Here, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
You got it. Still holding.
Yeah, still hold.
Oh, we have an hour and 30 minutes. I mean, 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Left in the window. I have a question. Do you think SN9 will be repaired before SN10 gets its nose cone?
What I'm thinking, they're going to roll out SN9 to the pad.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to, then, they're going to fix its flap on the pad and not at the build site.
Mm.
Actually, no, they delayed the rollout 10 days, so I bet they would probably fix it at the build site.
They could do it at the launch site as well.
Yeah.
That would just take a lot of cranes, you know, and a lot of support with people like going. Because I had no idea that the boom arm, the lift that people go up to, or what am I saying? I had no idea that they could lift people up all the way up to the nose cone where the flaps were. Because you know how before SN8 they had to take off the ties, or those like restraints for the flaps, for wind purposes or something. But I had no idea that they could go that high. That's like 160 feet up, you know. So it's definitely possible that they can install a flap up there. But I don't know. It's kind of dangerous. I'd rather do it in the high bay. You know what I'm saying? If you had some scaffolding in the high bay, you had kind of like when they stacked the SN9's nose cone, they built. You saw they built that ring where people could literally like walk around the fuselage and check welds and stuff like that. They may do that, but they may just string it up and you know what I mean, just replace it.
Yeah.
But I'm concerned that like it looks like the hinges and the actuator, it looks like it was okay. It was totally fine. Like it took the hit, and it looked like it literally. Both the bottom flap and the top nose flap were like damaged, right? But I didn't see any dents on the nose cone. I didn't see any dents on the fuselage. You know, it's probably going to be a relatively easy fix.
Minor dent. I saw a minor dent on the nose cone, but it wasn't too serious.
Yeah, it's something they can hammer out, I think, and just probably not patch it, but put some scaffold or put some what do they call those things? Support. So I don't know but either way, I mean SN9 and SN10 are going to be kind of neck and neck because the SN10 nose cone is pretty much complete. All they need to do is stack it on the barrel section and then stack it on SN10. I'm fairly certain
SN10 needs its flaps too.
It does need its bottom flaps. You're right. Yeah, I don't know.
I did see a flap delivery a couple days ago for. Those were aft flaps. Yeah.
So at this point, they probably have everything they need for SN10.
For the NROL-108
and I would think that they're waiting for SN9 parts at this point from Hawthorne, because they build those flaps in Hawthorne.
In the upper stage liquid
I didn't know that.
Which caused the abort. Now, keep in mind the purpose of the countdown is
I
to help us
believe.
catch these
Sorry,
potential
I don't want to
issues
say
prior to
they
flight.
do, but
The vehicle
where
and
else would they ship
payload
from,
are
you know?
in good health. Right now, the teams are evaluating whether or not we'll be able to recycle the launch attempt today. We should have a better idea of whether or not we'll be able to recycle today in the next 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Again, if we are not able to attempt another launch today, we do have another launch opportunity tomorrow for the same time frame.
Feel bad for Andy.
Thank you for hanging in there with us. But this is
15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I think it's good. It's good practice though to keep people up to date.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I have about 15 more minutes until I have to get going. Which is a bummer, but I'm thinking that wait, no I don't. Sorry. I'm good. Never mind.
Trying to get ready for my...
Yeah, I definitely want to I just kind of like rolled out of bed and I was like, "Oh yeah, I have to live stream." You know, it's like so early.
Mm-hmm.
Relatively early. But you know, they're in California. It's technically 7:30 right now for them. So they started this stream at like 6 in the morning. Listen to that ambient. So yeah, I think Hawthorne, California, they have a lot of involvement.
SpaceX.
Yeah, Hawthorne SpaceX headquarters. I think for the most part, like you remember at the beginning of Starship development when they were considering doing it at in California, right? They were gonna build Starship out there, and there was logistics issues with like getting it across the Panama Canal and like
taxes too.
Yep, California taxes are a bitch. So, and Elon moved to Texas recently. You know, like he's done. He's done with California.
Tesla's even. I wonder if the facility in Hawthorne is going to move over to Texas.
Yeah, I think they could expand McGregor and just do a rocket. You know, they could definitely do a rocket factory out there, or just.
They should add in McGregor because there's nothing in McGregor. It's just fields.
Yeah, pretty much, fields and. Oh, you know what's crazy? I wanted to show everybody this. So let's go back to this is right. So if you go to McGregor, Texas, let's see if I can find it without searching it. It's
Don't think it would be very hard to find.
Actually, it is because Texas is so damn big.
No, if you typed in McGregor, Texas, but I don't think it would be that hard to find a SpaceX facility.
Yeah. Oh, right, exactly. Yeah, I know exactly where it is. It's right here. So what's cool is like, so here's the SpaceX testing facility where they have, here's the, I think this is where they do the Falcon 9 static fires before they send them out to Florida.
Yeah.
So you can see the water tower, you can see some fueling tanks here, tank farm, and then the flame trench. If you see this dark spot right here, this is where they do horizontal Merlin tests. So you can see all the soot in the grass. Like you can literally see it from satellite, like how black it is.
Yeah.
So this is where they do most of the, I would say, and it's all burnt up right here. I love it. I guess they shoot this direction, or two different directions, it looks like, for VAC and 1Ds.
They have one for Raptor, too.
Yeah, they have the yeah, I think it's right here. So this is like the tri-stand. It's like a tripod almost, and they oh, no, I'm sorry. This is, damn, they have two flame trenches. That's crazy. I had no idea. This is where they test the Falcon 9s. So they stack up Falcon 9s here, they strap it down, and then they do long-duration static fires before they send them out to Florida. And then...
remember when they used to have that test stand with the big old Falcon that was like 100 feet off the ground, and then they had the Falcon 9?
Yeah. It's right here. See that?
That got rid of it.
Nope, it's like just parked. They moved it. They like made a little parking spot for it, and they used to launch it. They did the Grasshopper tests from where exactly? I think it was this little pad right here. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Where's the landing pad they made? I wonder where they did that exactly.
Concrete.
It must have been this area right here because they just moved Falcon 9 right there. That's so awesome. I wish this was public so you could actually go and see it in person.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping someday with my channel I can get media accredited access to like Cape Canaveral launches and like, you know, I think the goal for me is honestly like with this whole channel is to be able to go visit some rocket facilities and stuff like that and ask questions to actual people who know what they're talking about.
Be the next Tim Dodd.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly like totally within the realm of possibility. For a lot of
Tim Dodd, he didn't intend to teach rockets and science. He just wanted to take pictures with his Russian spacesuit.
Right. Yeah, I know. It all starts somewhere, and I just wanted to share rocket memes. You know, it all starts at humble beginnings, right? Tim Dodd was actually a wedding photographer before he started YouTube, and he really got good at. I'm like baffled by the way he got into Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects and stuff like that. His graphics are just unreal. They're so good on his videos. But yeah, they light Raptors from this tri-stand here, I believe, down. But they also light Raptors. You know, I think they could do it from this engine stand here as well, where they light them vertically. So we don't know for sure, but I just love how that you can see the grass is just sooty, you know. And this girl on Twitter, her name is Reagan. She lives in McGregor. She lives in this area right here. And she reports, at least from this distance, I don't know how many meters that must be or feet, but she reports as much as she can when she hears rumbles, and like she determines like if they did like
She's the Boca-Chica gal of McGregor.
She's the blue. What's her name? Blue Moon Dance 74. So she's in McGregor.
She's the Boca-Chica gal of McGregor.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, she definitely is. She's reporting quite a lot on what she hears, if she hears throttle downs.
Back to the NROL-108 webcast. We are currently holding the countdown. We had an abort at T-minus 1 minute and 53 seconds and reset it to T-minus 45 minutes. During the countdown, pressure was slightly high in the upper stage liquid oxygen tanks, which caused the abort. We do these types of checks to make sure we catch any and all potential issues prior to flight. Both the vehicle and the payload are continuing to be in good health. The team right now is evaluating whether or not we'll be able to make another launch attempt today. We should have a better idea of that in the next 15 to 25 minutes. If we can't launch today, we do have another backup opportunity tomorrow in the same time frame. Again, thanks for sticking with us for everyone that is tuned in right now, and we'll update you as soon as we can.
Yeah. So, of course, they won't say it on the web stream. I love how Elon is like, you know, we're just going to, the webcast is what it is, but I'm going to give the people what they want to hear, you know. So, pressure slightly high in the upper stage liquid oxygen tank. A review underway. So, slightly high, not a bad thing, but most likely, and that upper stage is a brand new, like every time a Falcon 9 launches, it's good for people to know that that upper stage is always new. It's never a reused stage. So there could be something wrong with a valve or the tank itself. Most likely a valve, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you see that video that was made in like 2010 about the having the ability to reuse the second stage?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With a bouncy castle.
No, actually, no.
What was the idea?
Adapter. The payload adapter up there. So you have the engine, and then on the other side of the tank you have the payload adapter usually, but they have, instead of, you replace the payload adapter with a heat shield, with a round heat shield, and make the payload adapter attached to the sides of the rocket. And then, so after you're done with your orbit, and getting the payload in orbit, you detach the payload adapter from the rocket, then start your deorbit burn, and then the heat shield from the second stage goes in, then the second stage flips, starts its engine, and lands.
Yeah. I've seen Kerbal.
Kind of hard to explain, but
yeah, I've seen Marcus House do that on Kerbal, right? Isn't that the idea?
But that's the inflatable bounty castle. I've seen
Oh,
that
so this
too.
is something completely different, where it's just like.
Yeah, I'll have to show you the video I'm thinking of.
Okay. Well, it wasn't an official video from SpaceX, right?
No, it wasn't.
It was like a fan-made video.
Yeah, but it looked like it was made from SpaceX in 2010.
Yeah. I feel like if SpaceX had the ability to reuse the second stage, they would definitely try those options, but maybe the logistics just don't work out right now. And maybe they've tried. Maybe they've tried, because, you know, the second stage has RCS thrusters, and maybe they've tried to deorbit it and see how it aerodynamically enters into atmosphere, and it always breaks up. I mean, you just never know what they've tried. But the heat shield idea is a good idea. I think it'd be really cool to use Starship tiles on the whole thing. You know what I mean? And
yeah, hold on. I'm looking for the video.
yeah, I'll pull it up if you can find it.
It's pretty cool to watch. Just gotta find the video.
And if anyone's joining right now and don't know what's going on, SpaceX is currently at a hold. T-minus 45 minutes is holding there. That's just their standard clock where they start the countdown at 45 minutes. But we don't know if they are going to do an attempt today. Their window is in the next, it's ending in about 2 hours, 15 minutes. We know from Elon Musk that there's an issue with the LOX tank in the second stage where it is overpressurized. So that's the issue. But thanks for liking the video. Thanks for subscribing. There is 145 people who have subscribed, and I was at like 60 subscribers 2 weeks ago. So definitely picking up the pace, which is awesome.
Yeah. I'm still looking for that video.
Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. And you know what else is kind of cool too? Oh, you know what? The frost line has gone down quite a bit, so they've they have to recycle completely. This thing is obviously not as fueled as it was 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just standing there. But this is really cool, watching paint dry, essentially. That's what I call it when we're just waiting for, especially with the Starship launches, we were just like sitting there like, what is going on?
So we don't know anything. They don't really actually verbally say anything.
No. I mean, their job is essentially to get the payload to its intended orbit and to webcast the launch so that people can get excited about reusability.
Continuing to join us.
Heck, they don't even have to
webcast. We are currently in the middle of a hold on the countdown.
They don't even have to
is a view
do
of Falcon
webcast.
9 sitting on pad 39A in Florida.
If it was ULA, they would have ended it like 20 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying?
From the second stage LOX tank, which caused the hold to the countdown. Now, keep in mind, we do try to catch these potential issues during the countdown prior to flight to make sure that we are absolutely spot on for a successful liftoff. The vehicle and payload are in good health. The teams right now are determining if we are able to recycle and make another launch attempt today. We should have a better idea of whether or not we'll be able to do this in the next 20 or 10 to 20 minutes. If we're unable to launch today, we do have another opportunity tomorrow, Friday, in the same time frame. Thanks for sticking with us, and I'll give you an update in a few more minutes.
Oh, I'll stick with you, SpaceX. Some of the Starlink memes you shared are really funny. on the Discord.
Thank you. I put the video in the chat on second stage reusability. This is still when they had the shorter Falcon 9.
Okay.
But go ahead and play it.
Yeah. Can you see it? Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, gotta mute that. That's Uprising by Muse. Yeah. I would play the audio, but I'd get demonetized. Look at old Dragon. It's a lot of RCS on there. Oh, so there's some landing legs. What the heck?
You'll
That's
find out
so
what those are
wacky.
for. So,
There's first stage.
yep, it's doing its maneuver.
This is Falcon 9, Block 9.
Oh, no grid fins either.
No grid fins. Wow, that's quite a high suicide burn. That's funny. Oh yeah, of course they can hover it. I love how things have changed. Those landing legs are super small.
Now this is the part I was talking about. So they separate Dragon, but then look at the top of the second stage.
It's just a blunt. So it's already shielded with like kind of like a blunt-sided shield, similar to how Dragon re-enters. But what do they do here? Okay, so there's the deorbit. Okay. Oh, and they tuck in the engine?
Yep.
That is whack. Oh wow. Yeah, see, like it wouldn't have enough fuel to. Oh, with RCS? Wow. Actually,
It's interesting. I think
I
I'll
don't know.
use the engine.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But then they put in the
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, here we are now in 2020. Autonomously. Oh, look at that. They were already planning to autonomously. Oh, well, this isn't from SpaceX, but. Or is it? Did this come from SpaceX? Let me read the description. Animation of a launched SpaceX Falcon 9 with Dragon, showing powered vertical return of both stages and the Dragon. Credits to SpaceX. Hold on. I think this was an official like SpaceX render back in the day. Ah, no. Maybe they took it off their site, but that's really cool. Oh yeah, and then here's Dragon re-entering. And I'm definitely gonna go live for the that's so funny. I liked this idea, but it just seemed way too dangerous to use Super Dracos to land a Dragon.
For sure.
Yeah. It's a cool idea, but could you imagine being inside the capsule when that's happening?
Yep.
You know how loud that would be? Like, even an in-flight abort would be, like, traumatic, you know?
Okay, well, I gotta hop off, and I'll see you tomorrow if they scrub.
Yep.
I'll keep watching the stream, but I gotta hop off.
Yep, same here. I'm going to keep the stream up for a minute, but, yeah, I'm going to take a break here in a moment, too. But thanks for joining, man.
Okay.
Appreciate your time and talking with you. It's been fun. Learned a lot.
No problem. All right, I'll see you tomorrow if they scrub.
Sounds good. Thank you. If anyone has any questions in the chat before we take our break, feel free to ask any questions you have. For this launch, we don't know much about the payload. We don't know much about the intended orbit. But again, they scrubbed at about T-minus 3 minutes because there was an overpressurization in the LOX tank. And we're waiting for a call out for a recycle, but it looks like maybe they might call it for the day. Because they would most likely need people to go to the launch pad, take Falcon 9 vertical again, and or horizontal again, and maybe do some hardware checks. But we just don't know. But that was the attempt for the day, at least for the morning. 2-hour window starts now. 2 hours left in the window. It's now currently 10 o'clock, 9:55 in, no. Is it 10:55 in Florida? Yeah, it's 10:55. So there's 1 hour left in the window. They would have to count down from 45 minutes. I don't know. It's actually closing in quite a bit. So I don't think we're in for a successful, nominal liftoff for the day. But the good news is that Falcon 9 is still standing. It would be absolutely terrible for Falcon 9 to explode or rud on the launch mount, where they've just done all of the all the work on the vertical assembly building, or what they call the tower, the launch tower there. Payload and everything looks healthy. Merlins look healthy, but just one slight issue with the LOX tank there in the second stage. Oh yeah, I'll have to go full screen here. SpaceX Kid was just on with me. Thank you for joining. We went over a lot of fun stuff. I guess we wanted to look at the maps, look at different aerospace locations and what's going on. Talk about exactly what's going to happen with the Fremont factory or the Hawthorne factory of SpaceX, and if they're going to decide to. Well, I mean, not that that's in the talks or anything right now, but deciding on building rockets elsewhere, because they decided to move Starship development out of California, because they were going to build Starship in California. They actually had a mock-up of Starship stages in California at this kind of like shipyard factory, and they even do well. They obviously print the Raptor engines in California right now. They have Merlin and Raptors 3D printed and assembled in California. So to move all of that to a different location, like in Texas, would be hard, right? It'd be a big job, and it would definitely make an impact on launch cadence, right? Where they would have to change exactly where they're building and where they're testing. But honestly, if they built a rocket factory in McGregor, they could easily just roll out Falcon 9s, do their long duration static fires at McGregor, and then ship them out to Florida or California for Vandenberg launches. And I don't know. It could honestly be it could be economically viable for them to do that. But Elon started his businesses in Silicon Valley, and they may stay, they may not. Tesla. If you think about it, Tesla's got a big thing going on in Germany right now with the Berlin factory. They got big things going on in China. They have big things going on in California right now. But it could easily be moved to Texas as they build the Austin facility. Texas is slated for Cybertruck and semi-truck high-level production, but they could easily roll in, well, not easily, but they could potentially roll in Model S, Model X, 3 and Y production lines at that Texas facility if they make it big enough. And they also have their battery, Gigafactory battery production site in Nevada. So in Nevada is where they do their lithium mining for Tesla batteries. So I don't know. If you think about it, maybe moving out of California completely is a good idea, just because of the taxes are just so, well, taxing. And I don't know. I just think it's I think it's good. I think it's really good that they moved Starship development down to Boca Chica, Texas. The launch pad was always slated to be there, but building the rocket facility out there where they actually build the rockets, it's kind of that's a big move, right? A lot goes into building a rocket factory, and you can see with, like, in Boca Chica, they have the tents out there. Those are all temporary structures, so they can kind of work through the details of building Starship, and then from there they're just going to probably build more permanent facilities to build Starships and super heavies, like you've seen with the high bay and the mid bay, and some of the other structures, like the what do they call it? The other small building where they do the ring manufacturing. It's the manufacturing building. So SpaceX is doing some more permanent decision making for Boca Chica, Texas, because things have obviously worked out for them with Starhopper, Starship SN5, SN6, and SN8. We're moving on to SN9 and 10 soon. It's gonna be some really, really cool flights coming up in Boca Chica,
And like we're seeing here with Falcon 9, it's kind of all standard routine stuff. We were really excited to see this launch today because they were going to do a return to launch site, which where the booster does a boost back burn and lands at LZ1 in Cape Canaveral, Florida. And I promise you, that is quite the sight to see in person, to see a booster land at LZ1. It's crazy. And it's loud. It's really loud. And so fun. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like they build some of the Starship components in Hawthorne, California, but all of the logistics and economics could work out probably for the benefit of SpaceX to move all of their production lines to Texas or elsewhere. Because if you think about it, ULA, they're here in Denver. Their headquarters are in Denver, where they operate. They have a lot of managers and systems engineers and software engineers in Denver, but they build their rockets in Alabama. Whereas Alabama has a really easy way for them to ship rockets with the rocket ship, they call it. ULA has a rocket ship, a ship that ships rockets. And they move giant rockets from Alabama to Florida very easily.
Launch webcast. During the countdown, pressure was slightly higher in the upper stage liquid oxygen tank, which caused a hold to the countdown. Again, the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch these types of potential issues. Both Falcon 9 and the payload are in good health. The team is still evaluating whether or not we'll be able to recycle and attempt another launch today. Our window ends at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Wow.
So we should have more information in the next 10 to 15 minutes. If we can't launch today, we do have another opportunity tomorrow in the same time frame. Again, thanks for hanging in there with us, and sit back and we'll update you as soon as we can.
You can hear some SpaceX employees laughing in the background, having a good time at the cafeteria. Cool. Let me take a break, and we'll be back. I'll keep the live stream going. We'll listen in, and I'll just I'll come back if they decide to do it. Well, I'm coming back either way, but if they decide to go for it, I'll get SpaceX Kid back on. We can watch the launch together. But it seems like the weather is just terrible today. Obviously, we have a systems issue, not a weather issue today. I think weather held just fine up until the countdown. So I don't know. I don't know where we stand exactly, but there's an hour left in the window. There's still a possibility, kind of like Trump and his possibility to win the presidency, the second term, but sometimes unlikely, sometimes likely. You never know. You never know. Fate works in weird ways, doesn't it? Anyways, thanks for checking out the stream, guys. Thanks for sticking in there. It doesn't look like they're fueling up at this point, but yeah, we will answer those questions shortly after the break. Thank you so much.
Fidelity on Countdown.net. We are going to stand down on our recycle attempt today. Launch control, you're good to abort recycle launch at this time. We will be setting up for a 24-hour recycle.
If you've been following along, we had an abort on the countdown at the T-minus 1 minute and 53 second mark. At that time, sensors detected slightly high pressures in the upper stage liquid oxygen tanks, which caused the abort. Now keep in mind, the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch potential issues prior to flight. There are 1,000 ways launch can go wrong and only one way it can go right. And given that, we are overly cautious on the ground, and if the team or vehicle sees anything that looks even slightly off, they'll stop the countdown. The vehicle and the payload are in good health. The team gave it their best effort to recycle within the remaining launch window, but it just wasn't in the cards for us today. Again, the vehicle and the payload are in good health, but this will end our launch attempt for today. The next earliest launch opportunity is tomorrow, Friday, December 18th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. As always, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you on the next attempt tomorrow.